Welcome to the Sunday service at CSLN. We are a welcoming and inclusive community of inspired individuals caring for and about each other and the entire planet. Welcome to the Sunday service at CSLN. We are a welcoming and inclusive community of inspired individuals caring for and about each other and the entire planetary family. The Center for Spiritual Living Nashville offers spiritual tools for anyone seeking a more fulfilled and meaningful life through a deeper connection with a higher power or universal truths. Be sure to subscribe below if you enjoy our programs. Now let's join today's service.
Good morning, everyone. Yes. Welcome to Sunday morning at CSLN. Isn't it a beautiful day and so wonderful to be out with our friends and here for a wonderful meeting today. And I'd like to especially welcome our visitors today. Thank you all for being here. We roll out the red carpet for you, and I hope you'll join us afterwards and pick up a gift packet and meet some of our members who are just really wonderfully waiting to meet you. So thank you again. Also, our theme this month has been working with spiritual law. And spiritual law can sometimes be a blessing and sometimes be a pain in the you-know-what. So we understand cause and effect, and we understand our thoughts outpicture into our experience. And that when we create a beautiful mindset, when we create a beautiful mental environment, and when we begin to place into that environment our vision, things happen. Wonderful things happen. You know, sometimes I take it for granted, and other things happen. And then I remember, I'm in control here. And today, Vic Sorrell is with us. And yeah. And he's going to be talking about how to use that law to bring more love into your life. And as we bring that love, we know that it comes from our giving of love, because it works in direct proportion. The more we give to life, the more life gives back to us. It is so wonderful. And just read something from what Vic wrote. He said that Max Planck said, "When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. If from a spiritual perspective, our disappointments are merely the platform from which our delight can flourish, what is ours to think in order to bring this about?" His talks are going to be about resurrecting power, the power of love. And I can use some more of that. I really can. We all can. I was just reading an article this morning about people who've been cooped up in their house for a year with their family, and others of us who've been cooped up just by ourselves. And in either case, you know, we're coming out, and there's a sea change here. It's almost like we've been on vacation for a little over a year, and we come back home and things are different. You know, things look different. We're different. A year has passed in our life, and we're here this glorious day to make the absolute very, very best of it. So thank you for being here. Here's Larry Farragalli to introduce our guest music. Yeah.
Thank you, Reverend Lee. All right, today joining our regular members, Spence, Don, Brian, is the fabulous Max Niederle and the fabulous Ben Williams. And our featured vocalist, actually, she was my very first featured vocalist. The first week of COVID, and I appreciated her so much for doing so much those months. She just got through up in Ohio singing 2 sold-out shows. But she lives here in town, and I'm glad she does, so please welcome Talisha Holmes.
If you believe within your heart, you'll know that no one can change the path that you must go. Believe what you feel and know you're right, because the time will come around when you'll say it's yours. Believe that you can go home. Believe you can float on air. Just click your heels 3 times if you believe.
my God, guys. I love your music, Alicia. I'm always grateful when you're here. And those glasses. Oh. Okay. Very, very good. Okay. Good morning and welcome to our center. I'm Heidi Dixner. I'm your board chair. Please join us after service for cookies, coffee, water, and tea in the fellowship hall. On Monday, practitioners meet at 7 o'clock p.m. I believe that's still on Zoom, correct? No, it's here at the center? Nope. Oh, scratch that. Make a note next month. I'll remind you again. On Tuesday on Zoom, Women's Circle meets at 7 p.m. I believe that's still meeting on Zoom, but we will be moving to the center pretty soon. On Thursday on Zoom, Untethered Soul class taught by David Arnholter, which started this past Thursday, will be from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. on Zoom, correct, Reverend Lynn? Yes. Details and Zoom links are on the website, CSLNashville.org, under calendar meeting and events. Discovery class is scheduled for Saturday, September 4th. This class is a requirement for membership, so anybody who's interested in joining the center as a member, and we encourage you to do so, it's very rewarding. Mark your calendars. More details will be coming soon to the website. Lots of news, guys. Buckle up. I'll try to make it interesting. Your Board of Trustees, affectionately called BOT, B-O-T, Board of Trustees, met last Wednesday. We added the sign to the budget, and Tanya will be heading up a free temporary fix for the faded logo on top. Thank you, Tanya. Lucia continues to update messages on the Marquee Weekly. Thanks to Lucia and Tanya for taking such good care of our sign. A new AV system is approved that will allow us to move it out of the middle of the congregation, right over there in case you didn't notice, to make it easier and also make it easier for volunteers to help. Thanks, Ray, for all of your hard work getting that done. We appreciate it. In response to suggestions made by the community, there's a link on the website. There's a meeting, a monthly meeting, and if you join us on Slack, you can make suggestions and make any concerns known there as well. We will be leaving only the front door unlocked after service starts. Please make plans to enter there if you're running behind, and that's this double door right here. Next Sunday, Venmo will be added as a means to make your love offering. We'll have details and QR code in the basket for the offering and online. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me. Gold coins are now at the entrance to the sanctuary. If you made your contribution online or by mail and would like to pick up a coin to place in the basket to celebrate your offering on Sunday, please feel free. Thanks, Mujgan, for this great idea. It's a good one. A writer's night headed by Gordon Ellis and AJ Bigler, and a new men's group headed by Jamie Collins. I saw you briefly, Jamie. I don't know where you went. He's way in the back. Were approved, and more details will be coming soon. Watch the newsletter and the website. Next board meeting is Wednesday, August 18th, after which we will set a new date for the monthly meeting. We've been doing it Wednesday evenings, the third Wednesday, for a few months for the summer. Join us at any board meeting. They're public at 6:25 p.m. for an opening treatment. Meeting is 6:30 to 8 p.m. And some of you hate me for it, but I try to make it run on time. The BOT thanks Tanya Miller-Heyer for her work on the board. She has resigned just short of her year term to focus on other work and her upcoming talk. We are grateful that she will remain a part of our community. Let's give her a hand. She's back there in the middle. Thanks, Tanya. So that means we have an open position to fill by appointment until the next annual meeting in March, when we'll elect any open positions. If you're interested or willing to serve in our community on the board, at least until March 2022, please reach out to any board member or our Assistant Director, Annie Golightly, and her email is admin@cslnashville.org. Try not to mix up everybody else's stuff here. So, teams. Sacred Service team has room for new members. Contact Susan Prim at susan.prim15@outlook.com or on Slack. You all, this is a very important team. They are the lovely people who greet you when you come in, and they really need help. So please consider giving of your time on a Sunday to help Susan out. And Susan's out there in the back. I see her. All right, events, contact Bob Sadler if you're interested in summer kayaking or canoeing event. Information is on our newsletter. CSLN picnic, we've been talking about it for months. It's coming Sunday, September 19th at Edwin Warner Park. Watch the newsletter and website in August for more details. Please join our online community on Slack, link in the newsletters, online, or email admin@cslnashville.org to get connected right away. Allows you to keep in touch with everybody even if you can't make it to the service, especially important for those of you who are out there online, and thank you for joining us. Need a spiritual mind treatment? Find our practitioners on the website, choose a practitioner by using the individual contact form, join them up here after service, or the online form you can submit a request. Last, and I know you're ready for this, stay connected. Give love to help our center thrive. Visit lovecsln.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, especially if you're online right now, and give us a thumbs up. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Heidi. You know, I just got to apologize. I always seem to forget to acknowledge that we have Gregory Price on over to my right playing percussion. I appreciate him because he's super talented and always on the money in the pocket. Let's welcome Laura Landris.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Laura Landris. And if you saw your program, it said Alan Woodard, which is my husband. And unfortunately, Alan had to go out of town. He had a family emergency. So I'm standing in for him today. And keep him in your hearts, if you will, right now. So I am reading from The Science of Successful Living by Ernest Holmes. The chapter is called The Necessity of Flexibility. You are a part of the cosmic process. In the last 100 years, humans have taken on a new understanding of ourselves. Formerly, we thought of ourselves as part of the life on this earth. But now we perceive that the cosmos is our home, and the limitations of time and space are lessening all the time. We realize that we have to think in larger terms and accept ourselves in a larger framework. To live in this larger area of the cosmos, you have to enlarge your thinking to encompass larger ideas. You can be this new person at home in the cosmos, provided you are mentally and emotionally flexible enough to live from a larger premise. It means the enlarging of your perspectives of security. It moves security from things to ideas. In the past 3 generations, we have seen the gradual acceptance of the idea that there is nothing impossible on the face of the earth. Inventions, research, and progress have made us aware that we are still on the threshold of all that the infinite mind has conceived for us to have, to experience, and to enjoy. To you is given more than has ever been given to anyone on the face of this globe. This demands that you arise from the petty status of personal viewpoints and join the saints, saviors, and scientists who see the grand outworking of a larger mind in its unconditioned cosmos. This requires flexibility on your part. The adjustment from the little world to the infinite order is not easy to make. But make this change you must, if you want the benefits of that which will be. Now I invite you to know this spiritual mind treatment and prayer with me. I am more than I imagine. I am more than my everyday acceptance of who I am. Being one with Spirit and all that is, I am that universal I am. Being one with Spirit, I open my heart and mind to greater ideas of what I can do and who I can be. I open my heart to more abundance. I open my heart to more love. I open my heart to a greater sense of self-worth. And I open my heart to more caring. I know that I am one with all that is, all intelligence, and infinite possibilities. I move forward with courage, knowing that it is Spirit that expresses through me that is me, and I honor this presence and make good choices every day. Thank you, dear Mother, Father, God, dear Spirit, for being one with me and expressing through me as your infinite idea and goodness. I release this, my word, knowing it is true in your name, and so it is.
To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, and to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, and to reach that unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star. Oh, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell with that heavenly cause. And I know that it'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. And the world will be better for this than one man scorned and covered in scars, still strong with his last ounce of courage, to reach that unreachable
Alicia Holmes, everyone.
Yes. I'm just so moved. Thank you so much. That was just, oh my goodness. Aren't we blessed? Oh, gosh. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. My goodness. So it is my pleasure to bring back up to the podium our speaker this morning. He's been visiting with us quite a bit this year, and aren't we blessed for that? So he is a student of A Course in Miracles, Unity, and Religious Science for over 20 years. You remember him as one of the lead singers for the spiritual music group Source, or from the work he's done engaging our Nashville community around HIV prevention, education, and research. He knows as we support others on the path to being who they truly are, that we help create a world where we're all who we came to be. Please welcome Vic Sorrell.
Good morning. And all I can keep thinking to myself while I was watching Talisha and the band is fantastic. Right? So I have to tell you to start out that fantastic is a little bit of an inside joke in my family. You see, my dad had a really good friend all the years that I was growing up, and no matter what you asked him and when you asked him, John, how'd you play today? Meaning on the golf course. Fantastic! John, did you realize there's Kalamata olives on the salad bar? Fantastic! Everything you asked this man, he replied, fantastic. Now, I will be honest in telling you that he caught a little flack about that, right? Not everybody was always so thrilled to hear him say again, fantastic. And yet when he passed, the one thing that came to mind when I thought about John Snyder was how many times, how many moments of his life was he available for fantastic? By choice. By choice. And so what a lesson that I am so grateful to have learned from the fantastic John Schneider. And thank you, Talisha, and all the musicians on the stage for the fantastic music. So I'll say that today we're going to discuss transformation from crucifixion to resurrection through love. We're going to keep it light. And I think Laura mentioned when she was introducing me, and thank you for that, that I used to work in HIV. And so I would laugh when I would think about Brene Brown. Any of you all who may know Brene Brown's work, she talks about anytime she was on a flight and she didn't feel like engaging, she would just tell the person next to them, I researched shame. It was like an invisible window just went up between Brene and whomever was beside her. Or if she decided, I kind of do feel chatty, and I'd like to get to know this person, then she would say something else. So that reminded me of one of the first times I experienced a practical love transformation in my own life. You see, whenever I would tell anyone that I worked in HIV, but then I realized if I instead told people that I was a love strategist, love strategist, that sounds very interesting. Do you mean that you work in dating or matchmaking? What exactly does a love strategist do? Well, they're both true. I worked in HIV and I was very much a love strategist because what I realize now in hindsight that I did was I helped people incorporate love strategies to preserve and protect their health. And not only preserve and protect their health, but to create a more abundant experience of health than maybe they would have experienced prior to our collaborating love strategist. It's all true. Now, fast forward a few years to another love strategist whom I had the pleasure of working with in collaboration for many years. How many of you all know Edwene Gaines? Yes. So you know that Edwene Gaines will be the first to introduce herself as a woman of passion and a woman of power, and you all, I am hot today. So, she will introduce herself as a woman of power and a woman of passion and a woman who takes 100% responsibility for the prosperity consciousness of planet Earth. Pretty lofty, right? Well, I realized many years ago that I was drawn to very powerful, passionate women. And only recently have I understood that the reason is because the divine feminine, the receptivity of the divine feminine, the availability of the divine feminine holds great promise for me. Because in my life, I started talking when I was about 8 months old, so I've always been one to explain. And not necessarily one to understand. And so I've realized that my attraction to powerful, prosperous, positive women has helped me incorporate my appreciation of the divine feminine. Fast forward again. How many of you all know Lisa Nichols? Yeah? Beautiful, powerful, bright, abundant woman who just so happens to be a speaker who trains speakers. So a couple of Friday nights ago, I was participating in Lisa Nichols' online speaker training, because there's always more. And Lisa so adeptly asked us some questions as her students in helping lead us to our own most powerful message. And she asked us to fill in the blank on this question. I am equipped for a time such as this because I have already walked through blank. Right? Now, the first thing that came to my mind was going back to the grocery store post-COVID. I've walked through it. I can do it. It's okay. And then I got quiet. And I got still. And what I heard was, I'm equipped for a time such as this because I have already walked through feeling like a disappointment. Can anybody relate? We've already walked through feeling like a disappointment, which means that if we no longer feel like a disappointment, we learn the power of transformation in that process. For me, one of the first times in my life that I can really remember feeling like a true disappointment, even a disgrace, was in July of 2015 when I began my journey through personal bankruptcy. Breathe, as Denise Jurgen said last week. Breathe. That's a big one for us. It was a huge one for me at a time. But along with my room key and my student ID, one of the first things I received when I walked onto the campus of college at age 17 in my naivete was a credit card application. Gotcha. And that's one of the most significant ways in my life that I've ever got. And what I will say is that one of the most significant transformational healing experiences of my life has been walking through bankruptcy. What I learned is we can't heal what we believe we must hide. And until I went to an Edwene Gaines seminar in Valley Head, Alabama, I was under the impression that my credit card debt was something that I had to hide. It was something to be ashamed of. It was a reflection of my getting got. It was also a reflection of being a disappointment to my father. In my family, my father didn't tell me much, but what he did say was, don't get a credit card. Don't ask why, just don't get a credit card. Maybe some of you are like me, and you would have to find that out, that why out for yourself. So Edwin Gaines introduced me to the reality that all debt is really about an unwillingness to forgive, an unwillingness to surrender. And it took me years of working with Edwin Gaines' teachings before I truly understood that with regard to my personal experience of overwhelming financial debt, I was not willing to surrender the thoughts about it that kept me in denial with it. I wasn't willing to surrender the shame. I wasn't willing to surrender the fear of what this overwhelming debt meant for my future. I wasn't willing to surrender so that I could be available for the transformational power of the thoughts that could heal the circumstance. Now stay with me. This is a really important part. Transformation is not about the power of a fleeting positive thought. Transformation is about the thoughts we keep on repeat. And I was thinking and repeating so many negative thoughts about my personal debt situation that it never occurred to me there could be a solution. It never occurred to me because it couldn't reach me that there could be a love solution. Now, what I learned in that process that I later re-identified in Marianne Williamson's book, The Law of Divine Compensation, is that whatever currently is the platform for whatever might be created. We can get anywhere from where we are if we're willing to surrender the thoughts that have created what is, such that we're available for the thoughts that can create where we want to be. We discuss this all the time in Science of Mind, that our minds are the ultimate platform of creation, and our focus then, whether it be constructive or destructive, will yield creatively. I think that Jesus, the master teacher, as the story goes, gave a divine, obviously miraculous, example of this at the wedding feast when he simply turned the water into wine. He took what was, and through the power of belief, allowed the transformation of what was to become what was needed. He allowed what was to become what was desired in substance. Now think about, we have the opportunity to do exactly the same thing in our own lives every day by means of first surrendering the current perspective. In my case, it was about first being willing to surrender my disappointment. My disappointment in being $65,000 in credit card debt, such that I could experience the transformation into the delight of being $0 in credit card debt. Sometimes it takes a lot of love to let ourselves have what we truly desire. Sometimes it takes the surrender of one perspective such that we're available for the perspective that heals. As I think was so adeptly mentioned at the beginning of the service, to some degree we are in control by means of our focus and the thoughts that we keep. We have the capacity to be alchemists of our own experience. When we're willing to surrender our ego's need to figure it out, the ego's need to fight, the ego's need to suffer, to conquer, we simply are able to then rise above the battlefield that is the level of our own toxic thinking. Now, how do we know that we've surrendered and that we're rising above the battlefield? relief. Relief is the first indication, the feeling of relief, that the tides are turning. The level of feeling is always the first level of manifestation. I love how A Course in Miracles explains this concept very simply. The journey from crucifixion to resurrection is as simple as the journey from loveless thinking to love-filled thinking, to love-centric thinking. Realizing this, we begin to understand that the majority of us then willingly create and continue our own crucifixion on a moment-to-moment basis. But there's a reason why they call the good news good. We don't have to. We don't have to. For every crucifixion, there is intended resurrection. A Course in Miracles is careful to then explain that we are to acknowledge the crucifixion, but not dwell on it. We are to dwell on the resurrection. Why? Because A Course in Miracles is acknowledging that we create where we dwell. So if we want to create more of what we want, dwell there. Figure out a way to get there and stay there. Stay focused. Dwell in that place, in that house of love. Eventually, we'll have the feeling, the first level of manifestation of that which we choose to create by means of the place we choose to dwell. And then we hold our focus, and on the level of tangible form, that which we can touch, taste, smell, measure, appears the manifestation of where we've been dwelling. Now think about it. Think about how you're feeling inside yourself right now. Think about the problem or the challenge or the frustration or the person or the circumstance that just cannot seem to be transformed. And now remember that our own best thinking got us here. Having said that then, what is ours to think in order to do our part? And we must do our part. What is ours to think in order to make transformation welcome? Well, you guessed it. Love. But how do you think love? Well, first of all, sometimes you realize, I'm not thinking love. I don't know what I am thinking, but I can promise you what I'm thinking right now is not love. And kind of like in Still Magnolias when Clarice said to Annelle, I think, if you can't say something nice about someone, come sit next to me. If you can't think a love thought, try not to think. Surrender. Surrender whatever thought you know is not love, and make yourself available for the perspective that is. In the void, from the nothingness, will arise the truth. If we're willing to wait, if we're willing to surrender and stop the hamster wheel, the frantic thinking, the frantic doing, the frantic moving, the endless phone conversations, the endless social media, the endless TV. Surrender. Such that we might be available for the love thought that is the resurrection transformation. Now, why is that so hard for us? Because we are conditioned in this society that we have to do something. And surrender feels like doing nothing. How could we possibly get to where we want to be by doing nothing? Doing, being. So we realize that when we are willing to stop doing and start being, what we're being is space. And we are actually doing something very important and very powerful. When we stop the doing, we're making space. In that instant, we just experienced a love transformation together. The transformation from seeing surrender as doing nothing to realizing surrender as making space. It occurs in an instant, and yet what enables it to continue? Our focus. Our focus. So we take forward a remembrance that as we surrender, we're making space. We're making space for the perspective. We're making space for the reframe. We're making space for the love to lead our thoughts, to inspire our action. What is ours to think? Love or nothing at all? Love or nothing at all? So a love resurrection in our lives begins with surrender. So I ask you, what is yours today? What have you brought in that you don't have to take out? One of the most powerful experiences of my life was at an Edwin Gaines retreat when a beautiful, another brilliant, powerful woman set me down at a table and she said, I need for you to leave your doubt on this table right now. I said, well, first thing, that's not my doubt. That's my Father's doubt. And it's not his doubt. It's his Father's doubt, right? And it's not his Father's, So let's just say I don't have to own it because it never was mine in the first place and it's not the truth of who I am. So yeah, I can just leave it on this table. Now, do you all think that I never had another doubt in my mind after I left that room? No, but let me tell you what I do have, a reframe. I have a choice, I have an option, and I have a remembrance. No. I left that doubt on a table in Valley Head, Alabama in 2009. Something like that. I don't have to go back and reach for it. I know where it is, it's safe. I don't need it. I can move forward in faith, in love, in light, because I'm free from that doubt. I left it. Very recently, someone whom I love brought to my attention a situation where I was explaining again. And yet, I had the opportunity to understand instead. And then they really hit me where it hurt. And they didn't necessarily mean to, but ego is about that. We all have our ego soft spots. And they said to me, you're a person who is so outwardly committed to love. I would think understanding would be your first inclination. Woo! Okay. Well, fortunately, my first invitation was to feel guilty. My next invitation was to feel ashamed. And finally, the big kahuna moved right in. Oh, see? You're not who you claim to be. That smile in that picture, yeah, that's a nice facade. Why don't you explain that? But my invitation that I accepted was the invitation to let my ego know, no, I'm not who you claim me to be. Instead, I'm clear. I'm clear as love, realizing that the nature of being human means we're not always going to get it right. And we don't have to always get it right because love can't use perfection as well as love can use willingness. Perfection is not relatable, folks. But willingness, the willingness to be wise, the willingness to anchor into the understanding that even if I tried to explain it again, in this moment, I can be open to understanding. I can acknowledge the crucifixion should be acknowledged and not dwelled upon. I can acknowledge my inclination to explain, mansplain, God forbid. Guilty. But I don't have to live there. I don't have to dwell there. There's a place I can go. There's a place I can shift. And through my choice, I can be available for the love reframe that is making the space for understanding. And I think that that is it. That's where we are as a collective. Our own willingness to be wise in the face of our ego chatter, to surrender that, to make this space for the love reframe, means that we make possible our own resurrection, our own journey from crucifixion, the loveless thought, to the resurrection of a love-centric thought in any given moment. And our own personal love resurrection is merely a contribution to the love resurrection that we would choose to see on planet Earth. We say we need a love revolution, a love resurrection, but what is mine to do? You want to be really useful to love? Heal. Heal. And be willing to stand in the light of the understanding of the change. Be willing to be seen and be willing to share your experience. Now, being in credit card debt just happened to be one of my experiences. Okay? We all have them. We all have those things in our lives that simply won't heal because we keep hiding them. But love has a plan. Love has a plan for every place we feel we have to hide. Love has a plan to heal every place that we feel we have to hide. This wisdom is in every one of us. It's the truth of every one of us. Surrendering everything else is our part. Love or nothing at all. Such that the truth of who we are can become the truth of how we are. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Vic. Oh, yes. Love has a plan. Love has a plan for each one of us, and love has a plan for this church. So I invite you to share with me and know this with me in this closing treatment. I invite you to close your eyes. And you can know this in the first person. I know that there is one infinite, loving mind of God that is all love, that dwells in every corner of our being, that holds us in its embrace, that supports us, that expresses through us as vibrant health, vitality, and well-being. And we open our hearts today to this love, to this healing, to this knowing, so that we can be a great light unto this world. And we know that whatever we choose to be, that it is there for us as we know it. There are infinite possibilities, and there is infinite love for us. And I thank you, dear Spirit, dear God, for this. And I release my word into your name, and together, and so it is. And so now we have the offering. And if you're online with us today, if you look on the screen, you can see that it's time to give. And if you want to, you can give online on your phones. All you have to do is to go to the CSL website. And there is a donate button there. And we'll be passing around the baskets now. Thank you. Oh, yes. I don't remember what it is. Divine love, as me, multiplies all that I have and all that I give and all that I receive. And so it is. Thank you.
So it is, Mr. Spence.
Give me love that
Doesn't Talisha and Raven lift us higher? Oh my gosh, yes. And let's thank the band. What a great band we have here. Oh my gosh, Max, thank you. Thank you for being with us today. Oh, look at our backup singers over here. Oh my goodness. Gordon, thank you. Thank you all. Oh, Susan, thank you. All right, wow, what a great day this is here. I also want to thank Vic for such a great message. You know, yes, you know, I have to say, you know, I love to go to clubs in Rosemary. You know I do. I love to go out and listen to music and just enjoy the entertainment. If I had to pay for this today, okay, guess what the price would be? And you know, I love to go to lectures, and you know, the TED Talks are fantastic. And you know, even the small ones are like $50 a piece, you know, just to go and sit in. Now, how much would you pay to hear what Vic said today? Oh my God, yeah. You know, I'm telling you what, you've got here is one of the greatest centers I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot. And it's not just because of what's on the stage, it's because of who you are and why you are and how you are. And I'm just going to invite you. Again, Vic and I would like to invite you to open your hearts. And you know, we've all been hurt, and we've all kind of shut down, and we've all backed up sometimes. And sometimes you just have to take out that 2-4 and whack yourself a little bit and say, hey, I can get over this. I can get through this, and I can open my heart. Right, Gregory? I can open my heart. And every time I do, what happens? Life gets better. Life gets better. And so thank you again, Vic. What a great talk. I want to just ask right now, if you're a visitor here and you're here to stand up, I just want to acknowledge and recognize you. First or second time here. Oh, there we are. All right. Let's go, everyone. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. Great day. Remember to join us for coffee and tea. And I'm going to ask our practitioners to come up front right now. And I want to mention to you that they always are in the back, and they're always here for you. And they are happy to help you with anything. And if you have any trouble opening up to love, opening up to unconditional, wide open, all 4-barrel love, just talk to one of these guys. They can help you get through it. They can help you make life different. So, again, I love you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Now, Larry, all right, let's go.
We've all done this 100 times, so no excuse. Sing. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, let me get one more time. Come on, man. It's in every one of us to be free. Find yourself, open your eyes and see. We can all learn everything without ever knowing why. That's it.
This program is a service of the Center for Spiritual Living Nashville. May your life be filled with joy and prosperity in every way. Learn more about our programs or contact one of our practitioners at our website, cslnashville.org. You may also want to follow us on Facebook at CSLNASH. You can make a big difference with your financial gift at lovecsln.com. Please share the link to this program with a friend and join us again next Sunday. Have a wonderful week.